So assuming that you people don't have any idea on Selenium. Okay, so I'm just assuming that you have a zero knowledge on Selenium and I'm starting this session. Okay, so what is a Selenium? Why we are going for Selenium? Not only we, and the majority of the people are preferring this tool. Okay, why majority of the people are preferring this tool? Advantages. What are all the various limitations? And then components available in Selenium, content for this training program. So we are going to cover all these things as part of the demo session. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So what is a Selenium? Selenium is an open source automation testing tool which is used to automate any kind of web applications. So the web applications means what are all the applications we are testing on a browser. We can call them as a web applications. So we can automate a Selenium, or else we can automate any kind of a web-based application using this Selenium tool. And the most important thing which we need to know is Selenium is an Selenium is an open source tool. Okay, Selenium is an open source tool. So open source tool means anyone can simply download this software for free of cost and they can automate their applications. Okay, just for free of cost we can download this software and we can automate our applications. Fine. So why Selenium? So in the current market there are a number of tools available like a QDB, Selenium, Sahi, and then Protractor. We have too many tools are there. Why majority of the people are going for Selenium? The first reason is an open source tool. Okay, the first reason why people are going for Selenium means it's an open source tool. Okay, so it means anyone can simply download this software for free of cost and they can automate their applications. Usually a simple question will rise in our mind: is this the only reason why we are going for this tool? The reason is an open source tool. So is this the only reason why we are going for this particular tool? The answer is no. Selenium is having few more advantages. Okay, Selenium is having a few more advantages. Okay, so what are all the various advantages? Okay, so what are all the various advantages with respect to this tool? So the first one is we can perform record and a playback feature using this tool. Okay, we can perform record and a playback feature. The example is our mobile phone itself. See, in our mobile phones, we have audio or a video recorder apps using which we can record both the audio and the video. Right, using which we can record both the audio and as well as the video. The same way here, the record and a playback feature works on a browser. Whatever the actions we are gonna perform on the browser, for all those actions, our tool will record the scripts, and whenever we want, we can play back that script on the same browser. Okay, so we can play back that particular script on the same browser. That's the first advantage. And the second advantage is multiple programming languages. Okay, so multiple programming languages. It means we can write down the Selenium code using Java, .NET, Python, whatever the programming language might be, we can write down our Selenium code if at all we are familiarized with one among those. Usually 75 to 80% of the people will go for Java. The reason is why people are going for Java, why not any other tools? Selenium itself is a tool which was developed using Java. Okay, Selenium itself is a tool which was developed using Java programming language, and moreover, as 75 to 80% of the people are using this tool, we will get better support from forums and various Google groups, as majority of the people are using. Moreover, as Selenium is an open source tool, we don't get any proper support from Selenium team. And another major reason why we are going for this one is majority of job openings are on Selenium only. Okay, majority of the job openings are on Selenium. That's another reason why we are preferring Selenium. And it supports multiple browsers. Whatever the test script we have prepared, we can execute it across various browsers, and then we can perform load testing, cross browser, cross OS. We can perform mobile testing as well. So it means if at all we are good at Selenium, we can automate either your Android phone or else your iPhone also. So if at all we are good at this Selenium, we can automate both the Android and iOS devices. Okay, fine. Done up to here. Guys, Divya and Saujanya, am I clear for you, or do you have any questions for me on this? Okay, just a second. I'm just unmuting you. Divya and Saujanya, do you have any questions for me? Are you
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
cool? Cool. So the next point of what we need to consider out over here is we studied about advantages. Now we need to study about limitations too. So we are just done with these advantages. We need to start about these limitations. So what are all the various limitations with this particular tool? Okay, what are all the various limitations with this particular tool? So the first limitation with this particular tool is, okay, open source. We don't get any support from Selenium team. This is the first thing. And another major limitation is we can automate. We can automate, okay, only web-based applications. It means when you are trying to upload a profile pic to your Facebook, you will get a window-based pop-up wherein which we need to select the file. Using this tool, we can't handle those scenarios. Okay, means simply the file uploading scenarios we can't handle using this particular tool. Great. So let me give you a small example here. Assume that in my system I have 2 GB of a free space, and if I would like to store 20 GB of a movies, it's not possible for me to save that much information to my machine. So we will connect external hard disk and we will store there. And whenever we want to access the info, we will again connect the external hard disk and we can access the information. Means memory limitation we are overcoming with a third party memory, which is an external hard disk. Okay, we are overcoming this one with an external memory, which is an external hard disk. The same way here, the window based pop-up limitation, what we are doing means we are integrating some third party tools to Selenium to overcome those limitations. That's it. Those tools are Auto ID, Securely, etc. So we are going to study those tools with respect to our training as well. Within our training program, we are going to cover them. Cool. And the next and a most important point here is components in Selenium. First one is Selenium IDE, Selenium RC as a version 1.0, WebDriver as a 2.0, Selendroid version 3.0 and Selenium grids. IDE, RC, WebDriver, Selendroid and a grid. Selendroid is a component which is used to automate Android mobile devices only. If at all you are good at a Selenium WebDriver, we can automate any kind of a mobile devices using this Selendroid. Fine. Done. So the first one is Selenium IDE is a component which is an add-on for Firefox which supports record and playback feature. Means whatever the actions we are performing on a browser, for all those actions it will record the scripts, and whenever we want we can play back the script also. Okay, whenever we want we can play back the same scripts with the help of this Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is a component which is used to perform record and a playback feature. The main limitations with respect to this tool is it works only for Firefox browser. Okay, so the main limitation with this particular tool is it works only for a Firefox browser. It doesn't work for any other browsers. And then the another major limitation with this particular tool is we can't perform any kind of UI operations like drag and drop, scroll bar, etc. And we don't have conditions or loops to implement. So if conditions, while loops and all those things we can't handle using this particular Selenium tool. Okay, so we can't handle all these things using this particular Selenium tool. Fine. Okay, am I clear for everybody, or do you have any specific questions regarding this Selenium IDE? Cool. So here the another point which we need to get out over here is, okay, so these are all about Selenium IDE. Okay, so here once we are, yes Aujanya, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself and you can ask me. I think you have to unmute. No Saujanya, you are already, just let me try if you want. Yeah, Saujanya, can you please address your question now? So I already unmuted you. Fine. So if not, maybe some problem. Yeah. Can you please share your question in a chat window? Okay, so in the meantime, so are we using IDE nowadays? So no one is using IDE nowadays. Okay, nowadays no one is using this Selenium IDE. Okay, cool. And then moving on to here, once we are done with this IDE, we have two different components. One is a RC and a WebDriver. Say RC version is a 1.0 and a WebDriver is a 2.0. It means both the RC and the WebDriver are almost one and the same. Okay, RC and the WebDriver are almost one and the same. There might be some difference between these two. Okay, so fine. So the point out over here is RC and WebDriver supports multiple programming languages and multiple browsers. Among these multiple programming languages, we are going to write down our code using Java programming language. Okay, we are going to write down the code using Java programming language. The basic difference between these two is, here is our Java programming language and here is our browser. Java, one end of a river. Okay, and this is browser and another end of a river. See, in order to move from one end of a river to another end, we must have a medium like either boats, right? Either boats or a steamer, or at least we need to know how to swim. The same way, whatever the programs we have written in Java, in order to communicate with the browser, we need a Selenium server. So, RC needs a Selenium server and a WebDriver can directly execute the program on a browser. Okay, WebDriver can execute the program on a browser directly. A small example out over here is, assume that I'm traveling from Hyderabad to Varanasi. Okay, by flights. So here I have two options. The first one is a direct flights and the second one is a one stop. So direct flight means from source to destination, which will reach in just 4 hours, and the second one is it will go to Delhi first and from then it will go to Varanasi. So the duration is about 5 hours roughly. So if you observe, whenever there is a direct flight, it's just going in a less time, whereas a one-stop one, it is taking for some time. The same way here, for RC, it needs to communicate with the server. It means the speed of execution in an RC is a bit slower and the speed of execution in a WebDriver is faster. WebDriver is the latest component in Selenium which supports, which supports drag and drop, scroll bar, any kind of a UI operation on a browser. And then the another thing is we can read contents from image or a PDF. We can capture videos and images from the app, and even we can run the scripts. We can run the scripts without launching the browser too. Okay, we can run the script without launching a browser. As a WebDriver is a latest component, and these are all the various advantages, we are going to concentrate more on a WebDriver. And the next one is a Cell Android, as I said that, which we are using to automate only Android mobile devices. If at all we are good at a WebDriver, we can automate it. And the last one is a Selenium Grid, which is used to perform cross-browser, cross-OS, and as well as a load testing. Moving on to our regular sessions, we will start the Selenium IDE, and we will cover it for 2 hours, sorry, which we will be, as of now, we are not concentrating on Selenium IDE completely. We are going to start the Java concepts which are required for RC or a WebDriver. Whatever the Java concepts required for us, we are going to directly start these Java concepts for about 6 to 8 hours. Okay, for about 6 to 8 hours, we are directly starting these Java concepts, and from then we are going to start a WebDriver for about 20 to 22 hours on complete a WebDriver, and later we are going to give you a brief overview on 8 to 10 hours on mobile automation testing APM, and a brief overview on a protractor tool. So altogether, the total training duration would be 35 to 40 hours. Okay, altogether the total training would be 35 to 40 hours. Cool. So here, just give me a second. I will share. I will open up this course content. See, here we are going to start the sessions with directly the Java concepts, which covers basics and advanced concepts in Java, followed by the Selenium WebDriver. Prior that, we are going to see about a locators strategy, and then a complete WebDriver with the real-time scenarios. These are all the various kinds of real-time scenarios we are going to cover, including JUnit, TestNG, Maven, Jenkins, and all those things we are going to cover in part of this training. And we used to provide these kind of running nodes on a daily basis, which contains in detail information about the concept, and if at all you need to do some configuration from where you need to download everything we are going to specify here in this documentation, which will be helpful for everyone to configure the setup in their machine. And even we are going to concentrate on more and more practical scenarios, and we will give you assignments on a daily basis. Okay, so we will give you assignments on a daily basis. Cool. This is the basic thing, and these are all the basic stuff we have. Saujanya and Divya, do you have any questions for me? You can unmute. I already unmuted you. You can share your questions. If at all you have, you can address your questions.
So I have a question, like, do we do any real-time project also?
See, we are going to cover that particular one within the training program itself. As I said that we are going to give you a bunch of assignments for your practice. So we are going to cover with respect to project in our scenarios.
Okay.
We will give you a couple of small projects. We can consider them as a mini projects. So directly we are giving a Salesforce application for your practice. Okay, so that you can directly practice
Okay.
all the scenarios on a Salesforce real-time app itself.
Okay.
Okay, does JavaScript? Yeah, we are gonna cover JavaScript using Selenium. Okay, so we are not gonna study complete the JavaScript here. Whatever the JavaScript required for us to work on Selenium, we are gonna cover those JavaScripts.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay, cool. Great. So done up to here. Then if you don't, tomorrow also we are gonna start the session at the same time. So let me give you the session timings breakdown. So we are gonna start the session on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is a Friday at 5 a.m. IST, and then Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is Saturday at 6 a.m. IST, and regular classes from Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is Tuesday at 7 a.m. IST. So this is our regular session timings. So tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, I will take a session in this slot, and even the regular sessions are gonna be in this slot. So this is the schedule for the next 2 days, and this is the schedule for the regular classes. Sure. So I already, I'm just recording this session from my end. So I will share this content along with uh, the demo session recording. It will take a minimum 1 hour for me to share this recording. So probably you will get it in a couple of hours. So along with these timings, I will share this recording. Okay. Cool then. So